Today, we're diving into a really powerful short story by Alphonse Daudet called The Last Lesson. It gets you thinking about a simple but huge question. What happens when the words you use every single day are suddenly gone?
But before we get into the story itself, just stop for a second. Seriously, imagine you were told, starting tomorrow, you can't speak your native language anymore. The one you think in, dream in, the one your family uses. How would that actually feel?
That feeling right there, that deep, gut-wrenching sense of loss, that's exactly what this story's all about. It's what turns a totally normal school day into this unforgettable, historic moment for an entire town.
So the author, Alphonse Daudet, actually lived through the conflict he's writing about, which is pretty amazing. And what makes this story so brilliant is that it's not about big, epic battles. Nope. It zooms right in on the quiet, personal, and devastating impact of war on regular people.
So, what kicks this whole story off? Well, it all boils down to one single, harsh order that comes from a city far away. An order that changes absolutely everything for this little town in France.
Okay, so a little bit of history is super important here. The story is set right after the Franco-Prussian War, which ends in 1871. France loses. As a result, two of its regions, Alsace and Lorraine, are taken over by Prussia. And then comes the big one, the order from Berlin. From now on, only German can be taught in schools. French is banned.
This has a name, It's called linguistic chauvinism. It's this aggressive idea that one language is just better than others and should be forced on people. It's a really powerful political weapon. This isn't just about changing some school lessons. It's a full-on attempt to erase a culture's identity.
And this fight to protect your language, it's a story that is played out all over the world. We've seen it in Bangladesh, where people fought to keep their Bengali language against Urdu being forced on them. Or think about Quebec's long struggle to protect its French heritage. Heck, in a country like India, the incredible diversity of languages has actually been a shield, preventing any one language from taking over. So, The Last Lesson isn't just a story from the past. It's a human struggle that keeps happening.
Now, we see this whole thing through the eyes of our narrator, a young boy named Franz. And when his day starts, he's just a normal kid, He's way more interested in watching birds and learning about grammar.
The change in Franz over just a few hours is incredible. It's like night and day. Before he knows what's happening, he's thinking about skipping school altogether. But after the big news, those same boring books suddenly feel like old friends. He's filled with this deep regret, and his teacher, Monsieur Hamel, who he was scared of, suddenly seems like this noble figure.
So when Franz finally gets to school, the whole vibe is just off. Usually, it's noisy and chaotic, right? But today, it's dead silent. And the weirdest part? The old folks from the village are sitting in the back of the classroom. Franz knows right away something is seriously wrong. And then it happens. The reason for the weird silence, the reason the elders are there, it all comes out. And it's not a big speech. It's a quiet announcement from his teacher that hits everyone like a thunderclap. His teacher, M. Hamel, is dressed in his Sunday best, clothes he only wore on special days. And he says it. This is your last French lesson. Just like that. In one sentence, the world for Franz and his entire village gets turned completely upside down. And suddenly, seeing the villagers there makes total sense. They aren't just there to watch. They're there to say thank you to their teacher for 40 years of his life. They're there to pay their respects to the language they all took for granted. And they're there to show their regret for not caring more when they had the chance.
In this final class, M. Hamel isn't just teaching grammar rules anymore. He's passing on a lifetime of wisdom about who they are, their culture, and what it truly means to be free.
On this last day, M. Hamel becomes way more than just a teacher. He's a patriot, a guardian of his culture. He's a symbol of dignity even when facing defeat. He doesn't even get mad at Franz for being late. What's the point? Instead, he just gives the best, most meaningful lesson of his entire life.
And then he says the most important line in the whole story. He tells them, when people are enslaved, as long as they hold on to their language, it is as if they have the key to their prison. Think about that. Their language is their connection to their past and to each other. It's the one thing the conquerors can't just take, and it's their ultimate path back to freedom.
While all this is going on, Franz hears some pigeons on the roof, and he thinks to himself, will they make the pigeons coo in German? It's such a simple, perfect thought, right? It just shows how language is natural, it's organic. You can't just force a new one on people any more than you could teach a bird a new song.
And then the church clock strikes 12.
The lesson comes to its quiet, heartbreaking end, and the story's real message is locked in forever.
Right on cue, you hear the trumpets of the Prussian soldiers outside. It's over. M. Hamel stands up, and he's so pale, so full of emotion. He tries to say something, but he can't. The words just won't come out. So he turns to the blackboard, grabs a piece of chalk, and with every bit of strength he has left, he writes,
Vive la France! Long live France! It's not a lesson. It's an act of defiance. It's a final, silent, patriotic scream from the heart.
And that's it. He doesn't say another word. He just leans his head against the wall and makes a gesture with his hand. School is dismissed. The last lesson is over. An entire way of life has just ended.
So what do we take away from all this? I think it's that we so often treat our language like it's just a tool, for getting things done. But the last lesson is this beautiful, powerful reminder that it is so much more than that. It's our history, it's our culture, it's what connects us. It's not just what we speak, it is, at its core, who we are.